Good afternoon on the lovely afternoon here on the Gold Coast. As always, just want to have a little yarn today about dealing with things in one's life that we're not happy with, or wanting things out of life that you can't seem to acquire, irrespectively of how much effort you're putting into whatever that requirement is. The motivation in our life is probably the most primary aspect of one's opportunity to overcome or deal with whatever we need to deal with in a life. Be that if you're unhappy, if you've taken drugs, if you don't like yourself, if you're not happy in relationships, if you're not happy in your life, if you're feeling depressed, or most times unmotivated, pessimistic, no hope. These are just a couple of issues that requires motivation that only you can activate in your life. If you had a broken bone within your body, you would be motivated because of the pain to immediately seek assistance from a hospital to fix that up. Just because you don't measure depression, or you might, some do, some don't, as that instant pain, there can tend to be a lack of motivation to want to fix depression or unhappiness, or a life that's unfulfilled, or a life with no hope, or a life that is in drug taking, being a pessimist all the time, being a victim, blaming everybody all the time, not just some of the times. And again, I know we all go through a little bit of blame, it's normal. And we tend to disregard that, to do something about it. And that's where most people go into victimisation, because they only look at one requirement to fix it, and that's blame. Well, I think there's more than that. I think there's more than another outlet and an aspect to fix your struggles up, and that is seeking professional help, talking about how you're feeling to people, not blaming, I mean talking about dealing with what you need to deal with to come out of struggle. And that takes motivation, that takes effort, and it's easy to disregard, and go, oh, well, it'll sort itself out and it'll get better. And then you find yourself stuck in the same situation of depression. It takes effort to change. And the more help that you reach out for, the better your life will be. That's a given. the more you seek, the more you'll receive what you're seeking. If you don't seek an understanding to explore and experiment why you're in struggle or why you're in pain, emotional pain, then nothing's going to change. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I think you only become motivated to keep exploring what I'm talking about when you do find that sweet spot in searching for your answers to your struggles in your life, be that everything that I said, what you could be struggling with, or an unfulfilled existence, a mundane existence, day in, day out. So it takes effort and it takes motivation to continuously make the effort. And what makes it so hard to stay motivated at trying to find answers in one's life through struggle is that there's no instant gratification with it. You don't go to counselling or you don't seek professional help straight away and then a bolt of lightning falls out of the sky and you're healed from it. It doesn't happen that way. It takes effort, and it takes continuous effort and keep backing up. And if one person that you're talking to isn't gelling with you, seek another person. If somebody you've approached to get help with your problems isn't working, seek somebody else. Continuously seek. Like a takeaway of this, there's so many outlets you can ring, helplines, and there's so many professional services there for people to get help. But if you don't make that effort, then nothing's going to change. It's just going to stay the way it is. And the real shifty thing in it is that when we blame other people for it, we don't move. We stay exactly where we are in struggle. It's only when we stop that. And that's why I highly recommend that we get motivated to make the effort to explore what our struggles are in our lives, and it's different for everybody. And the more you explore your behaviours and your attitudes and what part you had to play in situations and why things have turned out the way they've turned out, the more you find, the more you look, the more you get. If you don't look, you just stay the same all your life. And, I'm not saying that, people who haven't got these struggles in life of, depression and hardships and unhappiness and continuously bad relationships and taking lots of drugs. I'm not saying that people who don't behave that way need help, but even if you don't, even if you're not acting destructively, but you're still not happy, get motivated to find out why and what's happening. And I'll guarantee you, things will start resonating. Things will start, you will get answers in some aspects. The more effort you put in with seeking help in your life, the more that will come back to you. The less effort that you put in to explore yourself and explore how you feel and how you act and why you're unhappy or why you do the things you do, the more you will get in understanding things. It works. But you've got to create that motivation to do that. I think that's the best motivation for all of us, to find out more about ourselves, to find out more about how we act, to find out more about why we do the things we do. Where does it come from? How come you are the way you are? What's the purpose to it all? What's the objective? And you could say, you go too deep. Well, the deeper the better. That's if things aren't well in your life. You can't not go deep if things aren't well. You should be looking at things hard, deeply, passionately, because you'll end up knowing a lot more about your life and about who you are and why things are the way they are. Counselling and listening to other people is the greatest thing a person can do. Anything that teaches yourself about why you are what you are and how you can change that and learn coping skills to help you in the future when certain situations come up, to deal with things and to protect yourselves a little bit better in given situations, if that's what you need, that's a great thing. Or to become more happier or more freer. Mate, just talking will give you a sense of freedom. Expressing your struggles and dealing with them will give you a sense of freedom. And that's worth motivation, to have freedom. It was the best thing that ever happened to me was when I learned to talk about my feelings and my fears. I couldn't even see that I had any problems whatsoever. But I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy being in jail. I wasn't happy being a heroin addict. But I had no way out, because nobody ever taught me the power in communication and sharing my feelings and emotions. No one ever taught me that. I thought it was weak to do that. But it was the greatest gift I'd ever been given in my life. And I believe every single human can benefit from reaching out to people and talking and talking and talking. It's amazing when you make the effort to explore yourself and to look at yourself and to ask questions, what you find. If you don't do it, you'll stay the same. Well, that's my view on it. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It just worked for me. And if people are out there and are in struggle, it may just work for you. But it does take a form of motivation to do it, because it's just so easy to minimise it. It's so easy to disregard it. And the other thing about living in struggle, when you've lived in struggle for a long time, it can become second nature. You might think that life cannot get any different to what it is. And I'm saying that's wrong. It can. If you put the effort into something, if you have intention on something strong enough, you will crack it. If you want something better, you'll get it. And I believe it always takes other people to help you along the road, to support you, to give you insight, to help you be open, to help you own things and take stock of yourself. So a little bit of food for thought about reaching out and overcoming your pain and your struggle or the things in life you're not happy with, for whatever it's worth. If it's worth anything, make the effort. Remember, if you broke a bone, you'd go to the hospital. Living a struggled life or not liking things about yourself or not achieving things and you're disappointed, it could be anything, is not a fulfilled existence, and that's worth going to the hospital for. It's as bad as a broken bone, trust me. Don't minimise it. Take care. Look after yourself. God bless us all.